Woo! It never fails to impress. That music never fails to impress.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So, yeah. Oh, hey, look at who made it back.
Well, we'll
Just in
see.
time.
Okay, so can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Scott looks concerned.
Yeah, now my audio's all jacked up.
Oh shit! What?
Oh, you want to know why? Because I'm watching the show as well. That's
There we go.
That's better. The echo is substantially less now that I've turned off watching our stream live. Excellent. What the fuck? I like how Nate just said boom and then just dropped off. That bomb must have hit hard. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. So Rob Rich is throwing a party in the comments. James said howdy. How you doing, James? Good to see you.
Good evening, all. Waiting for my boy Corbin to show up.
What's up?
Should we be the type of streamers that refers to the chat as chat, like incessantly? All right, chat. What do you think about this, chat?
Like the kind of parents that refer to their children as the littles. By the way, when the revolution happens, you're all getting the guillotine. All of you fuckers that refer to your children as the littles, you're going.
Now Nate's upside down. Man, this is a wild show. As you see, we have a QR code in the corner. If you scan that with your phone, the Google Lens app or whatever, it'll take you to our donate page. If you would like to throw a few bucks at us for doing what we do and continuing to do what we do, by all means, that's always welcome, and every dollar is appreciated.
And remember that every dollar that you donate to us will be returned back onto you tenfold in heaven.
Rob asked, is this the Biden fundraiser party?
The Biden fundraiser party. Excellent. Christ, I hope not. I have to tell you, seeing Haley enter the race, which I was talking about, you know what? If Nate just keeps bouncing back and forth, I'm going to end up in an epileptic fit because this is just crazy. There he is. He's upside down. I think that's intentional. The former UN ambassador. Does anybody did anybody watch this bit, Nikki Haley?
I did not. Go ahead and share the video.
Of what?
You asked if we watched it.
No, I'm saying did you see in the news?
As in, did I pay attention to it?
Were you paying attention?
Still no.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember Nikki Haley.
Vaguely.
Nikki Haley was an anti-Trump Republican who was very anti-Trump during the primaries, ended up supporting Marco Rubio, and then after she said all this nasty shit about Trump and how horrible he was, Donald Trump called on her to be the ambassador to the UN. And of course, she answered the call because, she's an opportunist, and went and became the ambassador to the UN. She's an interesting character. She's Sikh by birth, or was at birth rather, and her parents kind of pushed back against being steamrolled into Christianity here. But she's thrown her hat into the ring to be president, and so she'll be running against Trump should that occur. Should he run again, which we all know he's going to. But
I mean, at least Trump was honest about being a piece of shit.
oh God. They said the same thing about the Clintons. Oh, at least he's honest about being a liar. No, he wasn't.
No. But Trump, I said about being a piece of shit. No, he would never admit that he's a liar, even though he is definitely a liar.
Right.
But, I mean, like, the things that he wants to do politically, he doesn't lie about it. He's like, hey, I'm going to do these things to fuck you over. Whereas Biden's like, hey, buddy, I'm going to help you out. And then he's going to stab you in the back when he pulls you close.
I think my favorite thing about Donald Trump was when when people were talking about like how he was evading taxes, and that was like the bone of contention. Oh, you've been avoiding taxes, and he says that doesn't make me a bad guy. That makes me smart. like really? That's the logic. I'm not. Oh, I'm not a bad.
Oh, we got a hot take from Rob Rich.
Yeah, I hate Tulsi Gabbard. I loved her for a hot minute, back when she was the liberal darling for a little while there, and I was young and a liberal, and which is tragic to say out loud, but it's okay. I recovered. She was like the hero. She was in the military. She was from good stock. She was a Democrat. And then I realized like she just doesn't think gay people should live. I'm like, oh, and people are like, well, yeah, but she's reversed that. She doesn't think that anymore. I'm like, no, you're either a good humanitarian or you're not. Like, you don't like suddenly become like it's like oh well, I really hated black people until just yesterday when somebody said to me, like that's just crap, like you're either a good person or you're not. So go ahead, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about too. Isn't that funny?
There we
I love that you
go.
drop in the middle of that, and you're like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. That sounds like Tulsi Gabbard bullshit. That's what that sounds like.
Haley are like the Wicked Witch. Like they're the same. You know what I mean? Both. I mean.
Gabbard is the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah, I did.
Haley, the Wicked Witch of the East.
Clearly.
I mean, that checks out, honestly.
I honestly don't know if that's sexist, though. I feel like we probably, we should keep that in check.
Could
They weren't horrible people.
Aren't they horrible people though?
Well, that's
They
what I mean. Yeah, they
really
are horrible.
are.
So I guess it all checks out.
Wasn't one of with like a pray away one is
Oh, Pray Away
like
the Gay? Is that what you're talking about? I'm getting half his shit now.
I think
What's
so.
going
I don't know if it's gonna work, man. I'm trying. I don't think it's gonna happen.
on? Oh, God, I
I'm
hate it.
sorry.
Nate, you'd be the
Too.
perfect guest, man.
Thank
Unbelievable.
you.
Are you coming on to him?
Appreciate that.
Oh, that ship has sailed, my friend. Oh,
Thank you. I will try to be back on next. So, rock on, and until next, something good for the world.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Contribute in the comments if you can. We'd love to have your insights.
Word. Good night, guys.
Yeah.
Hi, brother. What a good comrade. Yeah, Nate was going to be our guest this evening, but unfortunately he's, as you notice, we're down Atalia. She couldn't make it this evening, but hopefully we'll be back on next week to do lengthy diatribes in the middle of our test taking. So do we want to let's cover the news? It's going to be a half an hour episode. I think you're right, Rob. So here's so I put down the magic grass makes my Super Bowl stink. By the way, that was my commentary. So I heard that there was new, like some sort of hybrid grass that they developed that was super slippery or something like that, and that uh, it was developed, and they decided they were going to use it at the Super Bowl, which I think is unreal. Like that's a great place to test new grass. Is when giant behemoth men are charging full speed at each other. That's fucking brilliant, you know.
The best.
And then everybody was, so I heard that. I don't know what proof there is to that, but that was the rumor that I had heard. That they developed some sort of secret crazy grass, and that's why it was so slippery and why the Super Bowl sucked this year. And as you
Did it.
sports
I
fan,
didn't even watch it.
I didn't either.
I don't ever watch it. I don't know why I made that sound like it was just right now.
Yeah, this year was just so totally uninteresting for me. Is it a sport? Yep. Is there like a ball involved? Yeah. Are there big athletic people running around the field? Yeah. There's that. Okay, well, I probably have never seen it. That's I may have been in a bar and at a time and seen some sports being played, but I wouldn't be able to tell you which one.
Yeah.
Yeah, great conversationalist tonight, Rob.
Hey, I'm trying to play with these new features, you know?
Wow. You know when a good time to do that is?
When we're not on the air,
When we're
probably.
not live.
I didn't know about it until I was setting the shit up, okay? I'm almost done.
Okay. Austin, what was the
Hi,
debate?
Austin.
I want to hear that. I want to hear in the meantime, while Austin types out what crazy liberal bullshit they were having to put up with. My profile pics. Are you liking Rob Rich's profile pics? Is that what's happening? China killed 100 million people today? That seems excessive. Like, what? China killed 100 million people. What the fuck kind of shit is that to say?
Is it a troll?
No. Austin was talking about how they were in a debate with liberals.
Oh.
And the liberal said apparently China killed 100 million people. Oh, they were talking about Mao and the Black Book. Oh. That explains a little more.
I can't. I was trying to show more of my.
Oh, look at
there
you.
we go. There we go.
There we go. Thanks. Yep. Yeah. So 100 million people. Well, I don't know what the justification for that is. I mean, I think similarly with Stalin, Mao may have gotten some calculations wrong on feeding people. But here's the thing. Growing pains happen in any government.
Well, yeah, I was actually gonna like push back on that a little bit with like, think of how many lives were lost in the Industrial Revolution here in the U.S.
Right. Anytime you change your entire economy, that's going to happen. And in fact, I think Mao said something to that effect that this was going to be a hard transition from an agricultural to a manufacturing or an industrial nation.
And exactly, Austin, Mao literally doubled the life expectancy. Before Mao, the life expectancy in China was like 37 years or something like that.
Well, yeah, there was a lot less people and a lot more food now.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more people in China than there was then.
It was a joke, Rob.
I know, but I'm just clarifying.
Because apparently there's 100 million people that just fucking up and died because of Mao.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I think that number is it's a weird number to pull out of nowhere, and of course it's always like that number is always exaggerated and it's always all over the map. It's either 100 million or it's 200 million people. Or it's like it's never a tangible number. It's always just made up out of thin air. There's never a solid number. Oh, you think fascists are bad because they killed 6 million Jews? Well, Mao killed 600 million people. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? You just made that number up. You just took it from air. I was like, I'm sure 100 million people died in China. I absolutely guarantee you 100 million people died in China. But do I think it was because they were rolling tanks over them? Absolutely not. That's just silly. God, Jesus. China alone killed 100 million. Oh, God. We never talk about the slave trade and how many people died in that.
Oh, amen to that.
We never talk about the Great Migration and how many people died in the lynchings and how horrific that was, and how the state was literally a terrorist state. You know, I mean, this is, you know, we talk about, and that history was not so far away.
Right.
As we like to make it pretend it was.
So Rob Rich said more people died in the Great Depression. One was economic, the other was a famine. There was a famine involved in the Great Depression. We called it the Dust Bowl. I mean, obviously the numbers weren't nearly as catastrophic as they were at some other points in the world, but I mean, the same year that the Ukrainian famine happened, I believe, is the same year that the Dust Bowl happened. And, you know, here the number was in the thousands or maybe even low 100,000s, not millions, but still. And then Austin said, well, the Black Book says 100 million deaths for communism overall. but that counts Nazis' deaths and a bunch of other stuff. That's absolutely correct. And two of the authors have like walked back their statements from that book. They admitted that they were reaching for that 100 million number. That's why Nazi deaths are included, for example.
Yeah, I mean, and Rob says 100 million is a blatant lie. It was less than 7 million. That's what I'm saying. The number just is pulled out of nowhere, and it always is, and it's always some enormous number that people. It's just it's crazy. It's just like, okay, so you're telling me at the time of that a third of everyone died. I mean, it's just crazy talk. But I don't doubt that it was harsh. I don't doubt that conditions changed and people died. That's just absurd. That we would suggest otherwise. However, 100 million is just got to be the craziest number I've ever heard in my life. I mean, 100 million dead people definitely died, but of natural causes, of all sorts of outlying conditions. But to suggest it was a direct cause of communism is such an absurd notion. Just an absurd notion.
Right. Especially when you're like trying to count people that weren't born because of communism, or you're trying to count. There was another strange factor that they calculated. I don't remember offhand. It's right there, but it's not there.
I don't know.
Oh yeah. They counted both the Nazis that were killed by the commies and the commies that were killed by Nazis. So figure that one out.
That makes sense. Just driving the number up to be, to be contrarian.
Right.
What was I going to do?
And Rob also pointed out life expectancy, birth rates, etc. all went up simultaneously. It doesn't make sense.
No. It doesn't make any sense at all. But
we're going to be faced with these arguments for decades. It's already been decades.
I don't think it'll ever go away. I mean, we have to. Here's the thing. One side is always talking about how terrible it is, how horrible communism was, and all the faults, and how many hundreds of millions of people died, right? But in response to that, our side tends to overcompensate because we feel like we need to get defensive and say, oh, well, no, that number isn't accurate, and Stalin and Mao are perfect people and they never did anything wrong, and they were wonderful and perfect, and to suggest otherwise is just treasonous, which is silly because we have to accept the faults of those leaders. We can't just hero worship them.
Well, no, but I mean, you can also, like acknowledge that they made mistakes without trying to demonize them for it. And exactly, Rob, Mao criticized himself.
So did Stalin.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't think that any real communist is like arrogant enough to believe. I mean, some internet people, sure. No offense if any of you are those internet tankies, but like most practicing communists will make the effort to see the situation dialectically, right? And if you can't pay attention to the bad, you're not going to learn from past mistakes.
Yeah. As a Trotskyite, of course, I catch hell for any time that I criticize Stalin, and we have this conversation frequently. And my comment usually is, listen, we've got to accept the fault that we're in Stalin. It's easier to be a Trotskyite because we don't have we don't have evidence of his leadership, right? We don't have a history of him leading the Soviet Union like we do with Stalin. He never had those responsibilities at the level that Stalin did. So it's easier to be critical of Stalin than it is of Trotsky, because it's easier to be an ideologue than it is to be an actual leader. You know, because there's nobody to hold you accountable. We can't test what you've said to be true or not. So I think it's for me it's much easier to be a Trotskyite than it is to be a Tanky. Yeah, communists are infallible. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. We strive to not just to correct mistakes, but to be better people, to take care of other people. You know, that's what makes us us. You know, is it leftists is that we care about everyone and not just those who can fend for themselves. You know. Getting back to the news. I mean, we'll return to this later, I'm sure. But okay, so the magic grass at the Super Bowl. Nikki Haley and her bid for the presidency, and things in East Palestine, Ohio. I have to say that because somebody mentioned East Palestine to me. It was Rob. Rob mentioned something going on in East Palestine, and I was like, the media will never pick it up because because they don't care about Palestine. And he's like, no, Ohio. I was like, oh shit, okay, well let's pick it. That's not helpful.
I
Yes.
mean, there have been some media stories on it now, but nothing really, like from the ground. I mean, it's all basically just regurgitated train company talking points. I mean, I'm not going to go through the hassle of like trying to find videos or photos at this point. I'm sure that everyone has seen them on social media. I mean, every platform that I'm on, I've seen posts about East Palestine. And I don't know. I mean, maybe this is the cynical side of me, but I don't exactly trust the narrative that's been given by the rail company and the EPA. And I also want to point out that when we were covering the rail strike that Biden and Congress shut down a couple of months ago, this is one of the things that they were talking about: precision scheduling of trains, improper, handling of hazardous materials.
Can I just say, it's always the fascists who want to talk about the proper scheduling of trains.
Oh my God.
Trains always ran on time in Nazi Germany.
That's awful. So Austin said, I'm an hour from East Palestine. They have offered all of those people $25,000. Collectively, by the way, $25,000.
Oh my God.
Which is $5 per person.
I thought I read the first part and was like, oh, okay, that's helpful. And then it's $5 per person. I'm like, oh, that is not helpful.
That's a fucking dozen of eggs, dude.
That's not even. Hey, here's $5. Why don't you walk on down to McDonald's, get yourself a cheeseburger on us?
Yeah, I mean, and Austin, I don't know exactly where you're at, but like there were towns in Pennsylvania that were upwind. Where there's videos on TikTok of like, it's like 3:00 in the afternoon and the sky's completely fucking black. It looks like the worst storm clouds you've ever seen, but there is no storm. It's just smoke. And, like everybody, there was people an hour away talking about how they could smell the chlorine.
I love how people are like, this is okay. Things are all right. This isn't bad. This will just dissipate. Things are fine. Okay, I'm fine with that. I understand. But I'm seeing this large black fucking cloud, and I'm thinking, that's not natural. That's not a natural thing. That's not a natural thing. And, we had this conversation in the chat the other day. Like, I don't care what the science is. If somebody there's a reason why these trains are marked this way. There's a reason why we clean up these chemicals in this particular way. It's because they're hazardous. They're hazardous fucking chemicals. So call me crazy, but I don't want them all over my wildlife and in my rivers. Just crazy. I know, just a strange notion.
Well, yeah, and then they're talking about increased water treatment. Okay, but what about what's in the ground? What about what's in the groundwater? What about the people on wells?
Yeah.
Or like the fact that the contaminated soil was literally just buried over so they could lay new tracks and get the trains rolling again.
Jesus. Because God forbid they not be on time, right?
Right. Austin said that the Department of Justice is siding with the railroad company and they're going to vote whether to let people sue the company.
Yeah, that's gross. We either listen. What has made America successful economically is not that we are a capitalist open market. Okay, that's not true. It's not, and not because we have some great uh, um, hold on things. It's because we're a nation of laws. Because you can, if something is done improperly, you can take them to court, and the justice system will see fit to compensate you. Right? That is what makes people want to do business in the United States. From all over the world, that's what makes people want to do business here in this country, is because we are a nation of laws. If we're voting on whether you can sue a company for destroying your home, then we no longer fit that bill. That's not us anymore.
Yeah.
And that people are going to see it and not want to do business here anymore.
I feel like Nate is a little bit behind because he's still talking about famines. But he said, but I do find it weird that we will acknowledge that the potato famine was caused by the UK, but the kulaks were not at fault in burning their own fields in defiance of the Iron Curtain.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point about the UK as well, because I feel like that conversation never comes up in response. I'll bet a few of our comrades in Ireland would love to bring that up.
Yeah. James might have the quote of the night here. Hazardous means not good for eating.
Right? I feel like that's not new. Like, what we're not putting labels on shit, for our own we're doing it for our own safety here. And now we're like, oh, we're from the government, we know better. Or even worse, we're from corporations and we know better.
Right. Nate must be caught up now because he said America's own chemical Chernobyl and mainstream media took a week to get any coverage outside of a blurb about the derailment. That's why I pointed out when we jumped into this topic that there has been some coverage on it now, but it's all just regurgitating either, that the EPA did air quality samples at ground level in a very isolated area around the site. They're not testing the atmosphere. They're not testing the particulate matter. They're literally testing for one chemical out of at least 5 that were spilled. They're testing for airborne concentrations of one chemical at ground level.
Ugh.
And like that's all the EPA really has done. Apparently they're testing the water somewhere, but again, they only seem to be testing for vinyl chloride. not the things that are created when you burn vinyl chloride, but they're testing for vinyl chloride. So, like, once a chemical catches on fire, it's no longer that chemical, right?
It oxidizes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, as far as Chernobyl goes, I mean, this does smell like a cover up, and obviously the USSR tried to cover up Chernobyl as well. But at least the USSR evacuated the area and didn't
Right.
send people back 2 days later.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's we should at least consider that. The idea that they were evacuating people and we're just everything's good here. Don't worry about it. Drink up.
Well, no, they told people
Here's
on private
$5.
wells that they should wait until the EPA can test their wells before they use their water.
I was being sarcastic, but
Yeah,
give me
but I mean that's still like
a
not
little
really.
cheeky.
Yeah, you can drink bottled water, you can cook with bottled water, but you're not going to be showering with bottled water or washing your dishes with bottled water. I mean, like on a much smaller scale, it's very reminiscent of the Flint water crisis. Which, for that matter, that's still not fixed all the way either. It's got a bunch of band-aids on it, so like nobody's dying right now, but the problem's not really resolved either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the danger was that people were dying in Flint either. I think it was the fact that kids were uh, getting brain damage from it. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the lead goes, but what blew the lid open on the Flint water crisis wasn't initially the lead, it was Legionnaire's disease.
oh Jesus, yeah.
So there actually were deaths in the water crisis in Flint.
Well,
Not a
yeah, Legionnaires
not a
is
huge
different.
number, but yeah, Legionnaire's is some shit, man.
Yeah, that's a no thank you from me. What are we doing? Okay, so next, what's the next topic here?
NORAD increases its radar sensitivity so high that it picked up Rihanna's halftime show.
I heard a rumor about like a $360,000 cruise missile being used to drop an air balloon, like a child's play toy.
Yeah, so
Is there
yeah,
truth to
actually
that?
there was a hobbyist group in Alaska that is alleging that their hobby balloon, that costs like $99 on Amazon,
Excellent.
was shot down by a $390,000
Terrific.
Sidewinder missile.
I'm just glad that NORAD is doing something more than tracking Santa Claus these days.
I mean, but like, how sensitive is their shit? Like, really? I mean, like,
That's just
if I
crazy.
buy one of those like little quadcopter drones with the camera on it, like,
Yes.
are they gonna come shoot it down with a fucking missile? I mean,
Maybe that's how the revolution happens. We just keep dropping $360,000 missiles with things we bought at Walmart.
oh my god, it's
shit.
just
That's a good strategy. I love it. It's like I had a friend in college. His whole strategy, okay, so he knew that if he sent the Democratic Party a donation of a dime, they would send him all the fundraising flyers. So that he sent them 10 cents and they would send him tons of mail. They must have spent thousands of dollars in mail trying to get him to donate more than his 10 cents. But he was like, no, that's it. This is my strategy. Just sink the Democratic Party.
I mean, we should all be doing that. We can, burn it. We can compost it.
That paper's good. It's good paper right there. Excellent. Meanwhile, we're all looking at sub 1,000 balloon being taken down by something that costs U.S. taxpayers 3.5 times a spectacular annual salary for an average American going, dude, That's a house. No shit.
Yeah, actually, like that's not too far off of what we're paying for this house.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. I think that
I think I'd rather have the house than the Sidewinder missile. I mean, I'm just saying.
speak for yourself, Rob.
This is America, after all.
Houses, there's plenty of houses, but the look on people's face when I drop their fucking toy with my $350,000 rocket, you can't buy that unless you have $360,000.
For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Excellent.
You remember the time that Pepsi was doing the Pepsi points, and they did a commercial saying if you got this like ridiculous
jet?
amount, the jet, yes,
The Harrier jet.
yes,
Excellent.
Yeah. Did those people ever get that jet?
I don't.
Pepsi points.
There's no way they're going to get a Harrier jet. It's like, first of all, even if you got it,
oh my god! So they sued Pepsi.
They did. I know that. That's how I know about it. Because they sued them. I want to know the results of that though. So if you're looking into it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia, so take that
Terrific.
with what you will.
I will. No better source on the net. Yeah, the other part of that was Rihanna's halftime show, which I think is phenomenal that people are upset, one, that she's pregnant, which is just a weird thing to be upset about, that somebody else is pregnant, that has no connection to you at all. And two, they thought her performance was boring. She flew in from 150 feet in the air onto a stage and did a show while pregnant, singing some of the hottest hits she has, and didn't get paid a dime to do it. What do you want? Nobody was there to see her show. Nobody went to the Super Bowl to watch Rihanna.
Nobody that can afford a stage setup for the Super Bowl needs the exposure that comes with doing the Super Bowl.
Right. Things have come a long way from when it used to be that, what was that happy-go-lucky group that used to do it? That used to do like Disney did it a couple years. They used to be this goofy like oh, kids don't do drugs. Da-da-da-da-da. They did that whole song and dance thing for the Super Bowl for a few years. And they said they had the Elvis magician. Oh, hang on. Elvis impersonator.
In November 2022, a docuseries about the case titled Pepsi Where's My Jet was released on Netflix.
Oh, really? I can watch that.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is.
Long story short, they did not get the jet. But the Pentagon clarified that if they would have gotten the jet, it would have been demilitarized, and that would have included stripping it of its ability to land and take off vertically.
Oh, that sucks. That's like the best part of the Harrier jet.
Right.
You could park it in your front lawn.
But after these people tried to claim the jet, they made it, instead of 7 million Pepsi points, they made it 700 million Pepsi points and added a just kidding disclaimer.
Oh, good. That's helpful.
Yeah.
By the way, the Elvis impersonator magician from Super Bowl 23, their name was Elvis Presto. Elvis Presto. And they did a magic trick. This is back in 1989. They did a magic trick where they had giant cards on the field, and you had to pick a card while you were at home. And they did a magic trick on air with giant field-sized cards. Yeah. So, you can go
Be
right
right
ahead, Rob.
back.
Okay, bye. Oh no, I hate this. I need a co-host. I hate being alone.
But you can like play a video or so you don't feel alone if somebody else is talking. It's like leaving the dog alone,
Yeah, I mean, I could play the Elvis Presto halftime show.
I feel like Pepsi's gonna sue us. First we were talking shit about the Pepsi points, and then now you're gonna play Super Bowl shit. Anyway, I'll be right
Listen,
back.
all right. So he's gonna run and do his thing, and then he'll come back, and we'll do our new Southern segment. I don't want to keep touching on other topics until he returns. So let's see, folks. What do you think about watching the Elvis Presto halftime show while he's away? Ooh, there's the magic trick. Hang on. I don't know if I can do this. Oh, here it is. This is magical. I hope you guys are seeing this. This is hilarious. God, I miss the 80s. What a time to be alive. Yeah. It was 1989. And just the craziest shit. Who would have thought? Like now, it's the greatest pop stars uh, in the world, or at least in the United States. But back then, it was Elvis Presto. Imagine being an act at like a side act somewhere in Vegas, and then getting getting to do the Super Bowl, putting your name up there with Queen Bee and all those others. Just imagine that. That's epic. That's good. That's good times. All right. So Rob's not back yet. He's killing me. We can go back to talking about the famine and the Black Book and China if we'd like. I'm not seeing a whole lot of chat here, so I'm hoping to have that conversation come back so that you guys can keep me company. I'm lonely. And also, if you want, you can put your vote in for what we can, what our next Southern phrase is going to be in. Poverty, complaining, or gossiping. So put your vote in on whether it's going to be gossiping, complaining, or poverty, the next Southern phrase. What's happening? Hang on just a minute, gang. Okay, this is breaking from Twitter. At least 102 children as young as 13 were found working shifts using hazardous chemicals and cleaning brisket saws at 13 plants in 8 states. The U.S. Department of Labor has fined Packers Sanitation Service $1.5 million for these egregious violations. The food sanitation company was employing children in the plant's well-known companies like Tyson Food, which is not a surprise because Tyson's absolutely a horrendous company, Cargill, Turkey Valley Farms, and more. This is absolutely crazy. More than 100 children illegally employed in hazardous jobs. Unbelievable. $1.5 million. They charged them $1.5 million. If you are employing 100 children in hazardous factories using harmful chemicals, you should not be fined $1.5 million. You should be shut the fuck down. You should be shut down. If anybody outside of Tyson and these other big companies were doing it, they would have been shut down. This is absolutely the most absurd thing I've ever heard. $1.5 million. This is insulting. It's insulting to all of those children. Absolutely, just I can't even understand the logic. Don't understand it.
Nor can I. Before it hits midnight, I do want to take a few minutes to honor the legacy of Huey P. Newton, Minister of Defense of the Black Panther Party. He would be 81 years old today. But I have a clip of an interview that he did while he was locked up in 1968 that I would like to play. But before I do, Rob Rich said, "Look out, 1800s, here we come." Yeah. Let's also not forget the companies like Cargill or Union, right? So this is the type of union busting things that they're doing, bringing in contracted workers, which apparently are children. And then to follow that up, James said 1.5 million is like $500 to them. I'd say less than that to them because I don't know, $500 is still a lot to me.
Right.
Anyway,
it's crazy. It's nothing to them. I think it's insulting.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is what we're talking about. Nation of laws. We're no longer it.
The long-awaited decision in the Huey Newton murder trial, which has drawn worldwide attention, is now very near. The jury of 7 women and 5 men are deliberating the fate of the Black Panther leader on the 8th floor of that building. It is their job to decide whether he is guilty of killing Oakland policeman John Fry and wounding Officer Herbert Haynes in a pre-dawn shootout last October 28th. 2 floors above the jury in his cell, Huey Newton, who has made almost no show of emotion during the 8 weeks of trial, calmly awaits the decision of the jury. I talked to Newton in the jail.
As far as the proceedings thus far, that the courts have only reflected the racist attitude of the general power structure, that I haven't received a fair trial, that I should not have been indicted in the first place. I was indicted by a blue ribbon grand jury, a middle class white grand jury that did not represent a cross section of the community. And
You say you don't feel you've had a fair trial?
no.
Why?
Number one, that the judge has been very racist throughout the proceeding, very pro-prosecution, that I don't feel I should have been tried at all, and if I had been tried, if there was an inkling of reason to try me, I should not have been tried for first-degree murder. That if the judge had not been a racist, that he would have amended the charges to a manslaughter, perhaps. The very fact that he didn't dismiss the whole charge reflects his racism.
Some of your supporters have said that the trial, that you are a political prisoner.
That are oppressing people of color all over the world, and on a local level, the police, fascist police, are suppressing, repressing the white revolutionaries as well as the blacks who speak of and who are attempting to attain liberation. So I am not standing for violence, but I do stand for self-defense.
Back to the trial for one moment.
You just keep on talking.
What about your future if you're on the street next week?
I will continue to organize the black community in a political fashion. I will help in the campaign of Eldridge Cleaver for president, my own campaign for 7th Congressional District. And I think this will be a large job because it's going to be done from a grassroots level, from door to door in the community. It will we will consider the people on 7th Street who stand on the corners, who have lost all faith in this society. And matter of fact, all other, we will attempt to rehabilitate them, to show them that there is possibly some gains in political action, and if it's sincere, and if the black people have exclusive control of it within their community. So in my campaign.
You say, you got enough, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So the reason that I chose, I didn't realize how much that was edited down, I suppose. But the reason I chose that video is because the Free Huey Newton campaign is really what launched the Panthers into the press. That's really when a lot of people around the country even, heard about the Panthers. Anyway, the theory that Huey P. Newton put forward, known as revolutionary intercommunalism, I think is a really solid, path forward. It's enlightened by historical dialectical materialism. It's people focused. It's a struggle for liberation. I'm not going to take up too much of your show talking about revolutionary intercommunalism. If you want to know what it is, there's YouTube videos for that.
Did you think I was opposed to it? I'm wearing my Black Panther shirt tonight. You thought I was?
well, no, but I mean, we're an hour into the show, and I don't want to just go on an endless rampage about revolutionary
I love it.
revolutionary intercommunalism.
But a great but it's something worth noting and worth studying. So if you're interested, absolutely find your way to YouTube and look it up so that Rob doesn't have to explain it to you at midnight.
Yeah, that probably is part of it. It's also there's a good speech. His speech from Boston College is transcribed on the Marxist Internet Archives. That's literally the lecture where he lined out revolutionary intercommunalism. So that's probably like the best go-to source. In fact, I'm gonna find the link to put in the comments.
Yeah. Let's see, I'm gonna find. I have his speech in its entirety here at libcom.org.
Okay. Actually, yeah, because I'm looking through the Huey P. Newton archive on the Marxist Internet Library, and they don't have it, actually.
I will put it on the Facebook for this show, the Facebook post, if I can find it.
I will also drop it in the comments.
Let me send it to you so that you can do this, because I don't have the
I just took the
today.
libcom article from Google.
Oh, okay, perfect. That's the one. That's the one I was going to send you anyway.
Yeah,
But it has the speech, and that's nice. You can read the whole thing there.
yeah. It is quite long, but he also lines out how the form of imperialism that we live under is basically reactionary intercommunalism. So basically, it's like a socialist answer to globalism.
All right. He predicted global hegemony of the U.S. that pushed the liberation struggle to an intercommunal front. Yeah, there you go. There it is.
I mean, if we really wanted to like dive into revolutionary intercommunalism, that guy is the guy that I would bring on to.
Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah. Too many Robs on this show already.
Thanks. But yeah, I mean, Rob Rich is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to Panther ideologies. Bring on Tom. Yeah, bring on Tom Watts. Oh my God, we would have a 4-hour show of just Tom Watts talking about revolutionary intercommunalism, which would probably be a good show to me, but I mean, would it keep other people interested?
Just us watching that. Be fun. You cue the
Oh yeah. It's time for the
segment?
thing. It's time for the thing, you guys. Are you ready for the thing?
Let's do the thing. Excellent. I enjoy that. So for those of you who don't know, I've recently discovered a book that was gifted to me. So I didn't discover it, it was given to me. Don't worry about that. So this is Butter My Butt and Call Me a Biscuit. Another country saying, say so's, hoots, and hollers. And it helps me learn a little colloquialisms said by Southerners. Tonight's topic, which was selected by James, is poverty. There's two here. I'm going to take the advantage of reading them both because they both have different ways of looking at it. I'm so broke I can't pay attention.
I thought that was a dad joke.
Yeah,
that's a Southern thing.
let me do that again. I'm so broke I can't pay attention. Is that good?
Yeah.
Is that better? All right.
We
and
need
if
Wade.
I know, where's Wade to do this shit Southerners say? And he always he adds to them when I read them, which I love. You know,
Yeah.
he's like, oh, there's another one, and it's this. Like, thanks, Wade. If you're a little short of cash, you might say, if a trip round the world costs $1, I wouldn't make it to the end of the driveway.
Wise.
If a trip round the world cost $1, I wouldn't make it to the end of the driveway. Just imagine. The world is big. And the driveway is not that far away.
I mean, I don't know. I imagine some southern places got nice big long driveways heading up to their plantations, and life has
Hitting
been
up.
and life has been real hard since they had to get rid of their slaves.
I like that. I like that there's two ideas of Southerners. It's either a hillbilly in a trailer chewing on wheat, leaning up against his pickup truck, or it's a gentleman in a white suit with a big old white hat, sitting on his porch, drinking a mint julep on his plantation. Like there's no in between. It's either here's this extreme plantation owner or the guy in a trailer. Like there's no in between. You know? I don't know when we get that feeling that Southerners don't have houses, like regular houses. Boss hog. Excellent. Excellent.
You remember in the pilot for the Dukes of Hazzard, that motherfucker's cutting up raw liver and just eating it.
I don't, Rob. What?
You ain't never seen the Dukes of Hazzard?
The trailer? For
What?
Dukes of Hazzard?
No, in the pilot episode of the TV
Pilot episode.
series.
Okay.
It ended up going into like the theme song montage thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of those shots are taken from the pilot episode. But like that motherfucker is sitting at his like fucking table in the back room of the bar that he owns, and he's like eating raw liver. Ugh.
Yeah. Listen, I got to tell you, if I'm going to watch a show from before I was born, it's not going to be Dukes of Hazzard.
I mean, I understand that, but it was a show from when my dad was young, so I watched reruns by default. I wasn't.
We
Wasn't
watched
so
the
much of a
A-Team.
choice.
The
Also
A-Team
watched
we
the
watched.
A-Team.
There was a couple others. I remember there was a helicopter show. Anybody remember like the helicopter show? It was like the Cobra or something like that. I forget what it was called.
No.
Anyway.
MASH. I still
MASH.
watch MASH.
MASH is great. MASH is good
Yeah.
stuff. I love MASH. My lifestyle is built off of MASH. Constantly being in a war zone, trying to stay calm under pressure. That's where I learned it from. MASH.
And the answer is homemade gin.
Always. 100%. That's how I feel about that. Have we missed anything in the news that we were supposed to be talking about?
I don't know. Let me wait for the ticker to catch up.
Yeah, Glenn Youngkin wants to know your time of the month. So, I don't know if anybody heard about this, but you know how we have this rash of states trying to make abortion illegal again. Virginia, of course, happens to be one of those classy states, and there was a reversal on this. The Democratic-controlled Senate wanted to make it so that police couldn't use period tracking applications on your phone against you, right? So police couldn't use that as evidence against you.
That
And
checks out to me.
right. Well, that's what the Democratic-led Senate was saying. It shouldn't be allowed. But and so they passed law to state that, and Glenn Youngkin summarily vetoed it. And so now women in Virginia should find alternative methods. Oh, hey, Austin here. Did you bring up that the derailment in Detroit is the same company that derailed in Ohio? I didn't bring it up.
I
That
did
is pretty
not
crazy.
either.
I didn't even know that, to be honest with you.
Oh, that sucks.
I think there's a good cause for a lawsuit if it's happened twice and so he's short. That sucks.
No, I'm sorry. I'm fucking with my background here. I'm trying to.
Oh shit!
I tried to make it Huey Newton, but it's just like, you know, from the neck down.
I thought you were talking about the train derailments. I was like so disappointed in you.
Now it just looks like he's like angrily staring at the back of my head.
Yep. Yeah.
What if I? Yeah.
Now he just looks like he's angrily staring at you. And I can understand that.
Yeah, I could understand that too.
Yeah.
Emily does it often enough.
All the time. Detroit had a chemical car. I heard that they did have a chemical car too.
I believe that there has been 2 hazardous material derailments since East Palestine. And I also want to point out that there's a lot of derailments that happens all the time. However, there's supposed to be safety regulations for hazardous materials so they don't happen, especially to those trains.
How frequently do derailments happen?
I mean, like,
Is there statistics on that?
I don't know the exact statistics, but I know that it's like several hundred a year.
Oh my God. There are more than 12,400 train derailments in the U.S. over the past decade, or more than 1,200 annually.
Wow.
1,200 derailments a year. 3 or 4 a day. Think about that. I thought, this is the thing. Okay, so I want to touch on this topic about Obama. Because during the time that Obama was president, we had the conversation about the Keystone XL pipeline. And I caught a lot of flack for being in favor of the Keystone XL pipeline. I get it. I get that we don't want that pipeline running through native territory. I get that. The situation is that there were already other pipelines going through that area. This was just an additional one to carry larger excess, right? An extra large pipe to carry the excess, so that the others didn't crack or get damaged from carrying too much over their capacity, right? So I thought that was a good thing. But Obama got hailed as a hero for knocking down that whole Keystone XL pipeline. Now, here's the thing. One of the major donors to the Obama campaign was Warren Buffett. Now, Warren Buffett was against the Keystone XL pipeline too. Why do you think Warren Buffett was against the Keystone XL pipeline?
Because he makes more money hauling it on trains.
Because he just bought massive portions of the trains I guess the Erie that was hauling the gas from Canada. So isn't that tragic that that this all sounds like solid politics and like reasonable people talking about the environment, and when in the actuality it's just all about money. That's sad. I hate seeing it. You know. But yeah, when I was going into that conversation, I had talked a lot about how train derailments do occur. I didn't realize it was 12 to the tune of 1,000, 1,200 a year. That's nuts. Uh, 3 or 4 days, crazy. You think about that and how much oil that's going to spill. Let's not talk about the pipelines. Don't bring that up, because that's just, we lose more in that. Anyway, I digress. That's too much. This is too much seriousness for this late show. I thought we were supposed to be having fun. Yeah. Oh, so I found a new quiz for us to do.
Oh,
Yeah.
the last one went so well, we're gonna do it again. I kid.
It the last one went so well. Well, it would have been fun. Could have been fun. It wasn't. All right. So I sent you the link. This is if you want to post it for everybody else to join along on the test. This will show us whether we're prep, goth, nerd, or jock, and where on that plane we fall.
I'm working on it. Hold on. I was answering a message.
I'm sure you were.
Okay, damn it. I am putting the link in the comments. Right meow.
Right, meow.
James said this is fun.
Woot. All right.
All right, let's take the test, yo.
All right, let's do it. Hillbilly, it should be in there as well, I think. Question 1 of 22. Death, the supernatural, might not be the same for everybody.
It's
So,
not.
okay. All right, so we're just gonna have to do it, and hope we get our results doing well here. I'm gonna do mine out loud. Death, the supernatural, and the macabre hold a certain allure and beauty. I gotta agree with that. That's pretty. Pain and sacrifice are necessary for achieving greatness. I guess. High quality, understated luxury goods are a tasteful way of signaling one's success. The richest guy I've ever met in my life was Ralph Crump, and he was a patent holder. He was one of the original developers of the soft contact lens, and he always looked like a bum. He had more money than God. High quality, understated luxury goods are just words. Yeah, let's skip. Okay, rejecting societal norms is a key aspect of personal freedom. That's an agreed thing. I mean, I don't think I can be part of this group if not. Life is often unpredictable and chaotic, and that's part of what makes it interesting. Yeah. The darker and more mysterious aspects of life are fascinating and worthy of exploration. Agreed. Emotional intensity and introspection are important aspects of personal growth. I agree with that. Physical fitness and competition are important aspects of personal growth and development. Well, I think you can all see just by looking at it, I don't believe that. Fantasy, science fiction, and comic books offer unique perspectives on the world and humanity. Oh, I totally agree with that. Good grooming, I don't like the way that sounds, and clean-cut appearances are crucial for making a good impression. I feel a strong connection to online communities and forums where I can engage with like-minded individuals and share my passion and interests. Well, that's clearly true. Participating in fandom communities and conventions is a great way to connect with like-minded individuals. That's kind of a statement of fact, though, isn't it? Whether I
Yeah.
feel that way or not, I don't know. Classic, timeless fashion is always in style. Depends on which show you're going to. Mental and physical toughness are necessary for overcoming challenges and achieving success. Mental and physical toughness. I guess. I don't know. I'm neutral on that one. I don't know that you need to be physically strong if you're in a field that doesn't require it. And I don't think that you need to be mentally strong if you're I don't know, if you're lifting weights. I don't get it. Debating and discussing complex ideas and theories is a valuable form of intellectual exercise. It's the only way that I learn anything.
Yeah, we would not be doing what we do if we didn't feel that way.
Yes, we would.
Why? Would
I
we
was-
be debate bros?
I was debating. I was just joking. I was being sarcastic. Family is a source of pride and support and should be respected and cherished. I guess. I mean, yeah. I love my family. Well, I love my kids anyway. Luxury is a core principle when it comes to my material possessions.
Yeah, that's the solid communist take.
That's, yeah. Yeah. Clearly, I feel that way strongly. Traditional male gender roles and expressions of masculinity are important and should be celebrated. We're going to
All right,
strongly
Jordan
disagree.
Peterson.
Tradition and etiquette are important to uphold. Etiquette, yes. Tradition, no. Winning is everything. The pursuit of victory should be relentless.
Well, I mean,
I'm competitive, but not that much.
if we're talking about liberation, yeah, but if we're talking about sports, then no.
I don't know how to read that. I'm going to assume, since this is like who we are in high school, it means sports.
That's fair.
So, I often find myself absorbed in hobbies such as video games, coding, or model building. No comment. Gaming offers great opportunities for learning, problem solving, and socializing. I totally agree with that.
I put one thumb, not two, but I do agree.
I learned a lot about history and through Sid Meier's Civilization 2 when I was young. Oh my God. All right. I'm a LARP. So I am nerdy goth.
I am also nerdy goth, but I'm like,
Oh,
I'm just barely in the true goth category.
I am closer to nerd than I am true goth. Hang on, I got this.
I mean, but there's no metalhead option. So honestly, like when I saw this, I thought that I was going to get punk, but apparently not. I'm not jockey enough to be a punk, and that's fine.
I'm not baller. I'm just glad I didn't get normie. Imagine that.
I don't think that anybody that participates in the For We Are Many podcast would get normie.
No. Here's mine here. I'm right here. Look at that. 41.8% goth, 73.6% nerd. So just so you know, that does not add up to 100%. Great. Well, clearly not done by a mathematician.
Well, yeah. Just like now that you point that out, mine said you are 100% goth, 32.7% nerd.
Wow. All right. Yeah, I thought that would be fun to do tonight. I don't know. Maybe
I'm
find
all
out
the way
later.
right on the goth spectrum,
Yeah.
but I'm, you know.
Well, that's. I mean, you're metal, so that's basically the same. Because it's just goth, just louder.
It's goth just louder.
It's just screaming how goth you are. That's what metal is. You know.
Hmm.
Both of them want to eat your children. Both of them worship Satan. You know.
I mean, the good.
Good ones. Excellent.
The good bands want to, eat children or whatever.
Yeah.
They worship.
Some of them have.
Some of them have.
Some
of them have burned churches.
That's true.
Yeah.
And killed people.
Specifically in Scandinavia.
Yeah. They're weird about their metal there. Scandinavian metal, dude. Very odd. What do we want? Is that
That's it.
person bleeding from their eyes?
It's makeup, Scott. It's perfectly okay for men to wear makeup. It's 2023.
I'm not concerned about them wearing makeup. I was just worried that they might have some form of infectious disease.
Oh. No, they're just
Oh.
so metal that it's
That they
coming out
bleed
their eyes.
from their eyes. Yeah.
Although, to be fair, like my favorite bands usually don't look like that.
What do they look like?
Like, dudes in hoodies and whatever. Beards are often involved.
Dudes in hoodies with beards.
Yeah. But like not hipsters, because that's not the same thing, right?
That's, yeah. Wait a minute. Do they have man buns under their hood? Because it could be the same thing. That's a pretty
I guess
bad
it could,
band.
couldn't it?
Jukiholic says that's a pretty bad band. Like, do you mean like bad, like look totally rock and roll, or do you mean like bad, like they suck?
I mean, it's Cradle of Filth. You either love them or you hate them. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Or you're indifferent to them.
I feel like that's a lot of metal though. But wait a minute, you just sounded like a weatherman. You either love them or hate them, or you're somewhere in the middle.
No, Jukiholic. That was Cradle of Filth. That still doesn't answer the question. That's a pretty bad band.
Yeah.
But like good bad or like bad?
Bad, I think.
No, but this is
hang on. Who's this now?
See, there's beards.
Oh, there's a beard. I saw a beard. There's a lot of hair.
Lots of hair, yeah. Definitely lots of hair. Tiger stripe arm tattoos.
All right.
My internet's like, why are we doing this?
Bang you head. Meet your maker.
Yeah, that's the name of the song.
What was the name of the band again?
In Flames.
In Flames.
So, like, actually, they've been around for a really fucking long time, right? So, like, their first album came out in 1995, I think. And they're still, like, doing headlining tours regularly today.
So that been burning for a while now.
Yeah.
Right
And
on.
I mean, there was a period of their career they went a little commercial for my tastes, and there was a lot of clean vocals, and they added synthesizers and blah blah blah. And at the time, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but it's grown on me more. But anyway, point is, their last two albums has kind of been like a return to form.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've really been enjoying it. There's so many layers to the melody,
Yeah.
the melodies, I should say. Um, there's always a groove, and especially when it comes to metal, right? So like, I like music that makes me move, and like I can't like listen to this band and not be like, bobbing my head like something,
Yeah.
Obviously, in a live environment, that turns into a mosh pit or a circle pit, and then you get scared. But
Yeah. No, I mean, metal does that for me. Like metal makes me want to move. As soon as I hear metal, I want to move to another room. So it's definitely has that impact.
hmm.
That's a lie. But my favorite metal band. I love favorite metal band of all time, Nickelback.
Funny thing about Nickelback, the last single that they released, like, okay, so like the metal magazines were like making fun of them because they were talking about how heavy their new song was. And it has a fucking blast beat, which is, like a metalcore thing in the beginning of the song. And that was the only heavy part of the whole fucking song, dude. And like Chad Kroeger was like in interviews like bragging about how heavy this song is, and it's not. It's just Nickelback.
Yeah, I don't honestly, I don't know much about Nickelback at all. But Toadie's Possum Kingdom, awesome song. Do love that. Do love that.
Anybody into like any weird shit? Has anybody here
Weird
heard
shit.
of the Lennon Claypool delirium?
You just made that shit up. You just
I
created
did
a name.
not. I did not. It's Sean Lennon, as in the offspring of John and Yoko,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Les Claypool from Primus.
Oh, okay.
And I can only assume that they like get together in a room and do copious amounts of psychedelics and write music.
Okay.
Yeah.
My girlfriend is into some weird, crazy shit. She listens to some sort of like guttural, like Celtic shit. I don't know I don't know what to refer to it as. Like she's showing me videos, and they're all like banging like drums made out of human flesh and wearing fucking skull hats and shit, and they're all like making noises. It's crazy. It's crazy. And she's like, this is so enchanting. It takes me to another place. And so she's into some weird shit. I went to see David Bowie in concert before he passed. And there was a band that opened for him that was like it looked like a cult. It was just a bunch of people in like robes, like multicolored, like rainbow robes. So they had each person had a particular color, and they all had, they were all set up like a rainbow, and they sang. It was like very hippie-esque type music. So whenever somebody mentions it was very like psychedelic bullshit. Is it polyphonic free? Is that it? Oh, I'm looking it up now.
I am going to show you, and I misspoke, by the way. It's the Claypool Lennon delirium, not the other way around. I said the Lennon
Oh,
Claypool. My mistake. But yeah, anyway.
Explosives, jackets sold from the local product company. The military gathering a bevy of young rocket scientists. Thought the boys would do it, no one else had achieved. How high does your rocket fly?
Yeah, you get the point. Hippie psychedelic stuff.
Yeah, apparently the band I'm talking about is Polyphonic Spree. Is that what it is? Hang on, I gotta see. Oh Jesus! Yeah, this might be the band.
Oh
This might be
Jesus.
the band.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy shit.
Like us.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah.
Like your segment.
I think they may be a cult.
What Southern people?
Yes, them two. The Polyphonic Spree. Oh, good lord. You have to look it up. Look it up. And listen to it just is like they got like balloons floating, as they're singing live. They're like, oh, balloons. Is it, you want to hear a song by them? Should we listen to Light and Day or Lithium?
Lithium, like
Like the drug you take when you're listening to this shit? Not under duress?
No, Scott, that's probably acid if it's as psychedelic as you were describing.
But I thought lithium was the drug you take when you're oh my god, I am so tired that I don't even know. I'm running off a lot of junk energy this week, so I apologize. Lithium was the drug you take when you're psychotic, when you have a particular psychosis, schizophrenia. I thought lithium was what you take when you have schizophrenia.
Probably.
Yeah, it's for schizophrenia. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Cha, dude.
Do we have anything else to talk about or anything else to laugh about or poke fun at? Did Biden make any good gaffes this week?
I mean, it's a week, so sounds like it's possible. I'm sorry, I was talking about the Polyphonic Spree. You got so bored.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And you were like, oh, yeah, never mind. I don't care about that. Do we have anything interesting to talk about, Scott? I'm sorry I bored the shit out of you just now. The eels, I love the eels. Love the eels.
Oh, the Daily Signal made a video of Biden's biggest blunders from the State of the Union.
Excellent.
We'll get to that in a minute, but for now, Polyphonic Spree or whatever.
Listen. No, we can talk about Biden. You know what the problem is that anytime I mention this, any gaffes that Biden has committed, I always hear, don't make fun of him. he's got speech disorder, speech impediment. And I'm like, well, okay. But this is like not that, right? I don't think I'm not making fun of him because he had a stutter. I'm making fun of him because he's a fucking idiot. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And it's not like it's new. I mean, everybody knew that he was gaffe central. I remember back when he was in the primaries running against Obama for like a hot minute. And for some odd reason, he had one good thing that he ran on, which was a 3-state system for Iraq, which I thought was actually should have happened. It was the only reason why I took any interest in him as a politician back at the time. But he was at the time known to be the biggest. He was gaffe central. Everybody knew that, like, if you get the guy talking for long enough, he was going to screw up. He was going to make a mistake and say some stupid shit. Everybody knew that. Just like before Mike Pence became vice president, everybody in the Senate knew he was a fucking moron. He was the dumbest man on the Hill. Everybody talked about it. How he was the dumbest man on Capitol Hill. And even after he becomes vice president, now he's like, oh, well, you know, he deserves our respect because Donald Trump selected him as his number 2. Sounds logical. Anyway, the vice presidency seems to wash people of whatever stupidity they've ever had, and I don't get it. Any reputation you used to have, you become vice president, forget about it. It's all gone.
It's all gone.
Now you're Uncle Joe, somebody we can eat ice cream with and sniff your hair.
This should be good. This should be good.
By the way, Chief Justice, I may need a court order. She gets to go to the game tomorrow, next week. I have to stay home. Got to work something out here. And congratulations to Chuck Schumer, another term as Senate Minority Leader. I think only this time you have a slightly bigger majority, Mr. Leader. You're the majority leader. That much bigger?
Much
We're
bigger.
building an economy where no one's left behind. Jobs are coming back. As long as I'm president, nobody earning less than $400,000 will pay an additional penny in taxes. Nobody, not one penny. COVID left its scars, like the spike in violent crime in 2020, the first year of the pandemic.
Jesus Christ.
We've launched a new border plan last month. Unlawful migration from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela has come down 97%.
So this isn't really gaffes anymore. This is conservative talking points, which I'm not completely discounting, to be honest, because they're telling the truth. Things are still getting worse under Biden. He's basically blue Trump. Skinnier, whiter, blue Trump.
Whoa, this is news. He blew Trump?
I mean, probably. And he doesn't even remember it. So Juki Holic, the points that they are talking about here. Well, the first one was a gaffe about the Senate Minority Leader because he's the Majority Leader. Hold on.
I love how Kamala Harris looks so mortified every time he opens his mouth. She's just sitting in the back. He's like, and she's just like like she, like the roller coaster has just hit the peak and it's about to go down. It's just like,
So their second point was in the first 9 months of last year, the average 401k retirement plan lost a quarter of its value before adjusting for inflation. Biden was talking about an economy that works for everybody and yada yada. He said we'll only raise taxes on $400,000, and it was about spending. They tied in. This is the part that's correct here. They tied in that prices have risen 13.7%, but that doesn't really have anything to do with federal spending. Anyway, COVID caused crime spikes. Crime has spiked in areas with progressive soft on crime policies. Progressive meaning Democrat run. 27 out of 30 highest murder rates are Democrat run. That probably has
more
a
to do
lot
with
to do.
population.
Well, that too. Yes. Mostly yes. But I mean, let's also not pretend like the Democrats are doing a good job at running anything.
I mean, they're making sure the trains run on time.
But not the Providence bus system. Oh! And then illegal immigration. What did they say on that? I don't think there was any truth behind that.
No, not a lot of truth behind a lot of
What?
what they were saying.
The numbers are only down because his new mass parole program allows would-be illegal aliens in the U.S. in a way that doesn't count towards monthly illegal encounters. What the fuck are they even talking about?
That sounds some bullshit. Yeah, I know. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, anyway, I was hoping it was going to be like, several actual gaffes like the first one, but no. No, it was not. It was bullshit. Oh, no.
Ah, take that.
I don't think that I actually have anything else to talk about, though. Man, Huey Newton is mean mugging me, dog. Yeah, I mean, I guess if we want to talk about other things that Biden's really fucking up, the whole situation in Ukraine, and now we're doing the same thing with Taiwan. We are seeing the world divide up into teams, essentially. And I don't like that. That's usually a precursor of way worse things to come. And, Biden is just going to continue sending military equipment to Ukraine and then use that as an excuse to, spend more on our own military, which is already way too high. I mean, there's a lot of criticisms to throw at Biden, but making up shit about monthly illegal alien encounters, or talking about how these numbers are only down because of a mass parole program. What mass parole program? Natalie, actually, we talked about Huey a little bit ago. Actually, it was almost an hour ago now. Wow, where's the time gone? But I tried to fit that in before midnight because, the 17th is Huey P. Newton's birthday. He would have been 81 this year. I will reshare the link If you are interested in reading Huey's speech on revolutionary intercommunalism at Boston College in 1970, I think that you would be interested in that. Welcome back, Scott.
Hey, thanks.
Are we gonna?
I'll be honest with you. I fully expect you to end the podcast. I fully
Funny.
I fully expected you to come back here and have the end credits rolling. We're gonna wrap it up in about 7 minutes anyway. But I just wanted to. But I did expect to come back and see you shutting it down.
Shutting it down.
Shut it down. What's next week? Next week is, I think I'm good. There's going to be a week where I'm going to be away, and I just wanted to give us the heads up there. But
Gotcha. Next week, I will not be able to make the late show. My only day off is Thursday, so I would assume that we are still going to be doing the current event show. But, I mean, we're going to kind of play it by ear.
Okay. This kind of mildly turned into the current events show.
Yeah, it kind of did.
Yeah. It's difficult when you're my only other co-host. Because you slip into current events.
My default podcast mode,
right.
which is, hey, have you seen how fucked up it is out there today?
Right. I look out my window and I say, I'm mad as hell.
Well, depending on which window I look at, or that I look out, rather, I look out my window and I see my neighbor's thin blue line flag flying in the wind.
Stop it.
It's not my next door neighbor. My next door neighbor is pretty cool, but I haven't talked to the guy with the thin blue line flag.
So we're buying a house, and my girlfriend's mom has come to live with us. She broke up with her long-term boyfriend, and she came to live with us. So she's going in on the house with us, and so we were having this whole conversation the other night about how she doesn't want anything political hung up on the house. Like, I'm probably gonna have a Black Lives Matter sign out on my front lawn, and she's like, "No, you're not." So that got us into some hot water there.
I mean, that's not even political, though.
I didn't think so.
I mean, it's been politicized for sure, and I tend to not trust the nonprofit organization that funnels money to the Democrats under the name of Black Lives Matter. But you want to know who I do trust? The people that were out in the streets in 2020.
Right.
The people that have been calling for, what's the word I'm looking for defunding, the people that are calling for abolition, the people that are calling for accountability of the police officers. Those are the people that I support, not the people that sit behind a desk and, take your donations and use them for Democratic campaigns.
Not that the BLM does that, but no, I said, well, what if I hang my Black Lives Matter flag next to my Let's Go Brandon flag? Can I have those? Still a no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fine.
You should get a thin blue line flag, but like with Papa Smurf superimposed on it. Back the blue.
Back Papa Blue.
Austin said we had a neighbor with a fuck socialism flag and had a wheelchair ramp. I told Rob and everyone that when I used to do the podcast. Yeah, I remember you talking about your lovely neighbor with a fuck socialism flag.
Sucking up that Medicaid.
Yeah.
Just always makes sense. Always makes sense. The people collecting the benefits of the only slight bit of socialism we have. They're the ones that are most ardently opposed to it.
Yep.
I think the best way I'm so heartbroken. I'm sure you're devastated.
Oh, wow. Wow.
It's probably because they refuse to accept all that socialist assistance. Socialism
So
is when
I
the
found out
government
about a
does stuff.
really I found out about a really funny story, ironically through my Google news feed today, about how there was a town in Virginia that requested foreign aid from the USSR because the state of Virginia would not rebuild the only bridge into this town.
What?
So there was a bridge that led to this town, right? The state
got
didn't
that.
want to spend the money to rebuild it when it collapsed because of lack of traffic, because it's literally just going to this town. It's the only way in or out of the town.
No, I got your point. I got what
Right.
you're saying. The issue is like, what the fuck?
So they reached out to the Soviet Union for foreign aid, and they sent journalists here, and then the state magically found the money.
Oh, I'm sure they did. You want to find some money real fast? Ask China now.
Yeah, right. Like, we start having China come in and fix some roads, you'll be surprised how fast the U.S. can come up with that money.
It was like when Venezuela was helping people with their oil here in the States. People you had elderly people who couldn't afford heating oil. So the Venezuelan government was helping them with it. Getting like literally had programs to help elderly folks here in America get heating oil they needed for the wintertime. Just nuts. Like, we can't do that? Like, what the fuck? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It is officially 1 a.m. We've made it to the 2-hour mark, which we were surprised because without Nate, I didn't think we'd carry this past half an hour.
You thought that I wasn't going to put in anything, didn't you?
That's not. I don't think that's true. I just thought we'd zip through it, and we did zip through all the content pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then we've been fumbling ever since.
Yeah, it's been a great week for the Late Show. It turned.
That might be sarcasm. I don't know. I'm not.
It turned into the current events stream. The tribute to Huey P. Newton, which is well deserved, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, I actually thought about earlier, like, writing something up and basically, like, going live and reading it on the air. And then I was like, we're doing the Late Show tonight. Why would I do that?
No comment.
Are you implying that I should have not did what I did?
No, I'm glad you did what you did. I think the Huey Newton segment was appropriate and significant, and it's relevant, especially since I'm wearing my Black Panther shirt in tribute today. So
I don't have any Huey stuff, but I do have a Fred Hampton. Actually, Huey is on this sticker. I lied. Oh, god damn it. Right. Auto background. Hold on. Stupid.
Look at him. There he is.
You got Fred Hampton, Huey Newton in the middle, and then
Angela Davis.
Yeah, I pointed at the wrong side. That fucked me up. But yeah. Natalie said always something going on to talk about. Isn't that the fucking truth?
Yeah. Angela Davis, my dream woman. Yeah.
Your dream woman.
Oh, I love Angela Davis, man. Love Angela Davis. I love her brain. Everything about that woman just drives me nuts. She's crazy. She's so cool. She's a badass.
What about Kathleen Cleaver?
What about her?
Do you think she's a badass?
Are you suggesting that I should be more attracted to Kathleen Cleaver?
No, I guess not. But I mean, if you're gonna say that Angela Davis is a badass, let's not forget that Kathleen Cleaver is also a badass.
I'm not saying she wasn't. This is weird. What a weird thing to say. What about this other person? That's like the all lives matter comment. Yeah. What about other lives? I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying, we should also care about black people.
That's such a novel, groundbreaking concept.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna play it because we're gonna wrap up the stream, but I do have a video I'm gonna drop in the comments. Speaking of Kathleen Cleaver, because Natalie said, "Scott, you in trouble now? You're not. I don't know why you would be in trouble, but
I know because I don't love like every like I'm not in love with every female activist. I guess
I guess I didn't realize that you meant that you were like in love with her.
Oh no, yeah.
I thought that you meant that
she brings the heat. Yeah.
That you like love the things that she talks about, or
No,
whatever.
no. It's not just that. It's the way she speaks. Like when you hear it, I guess Malcolm X is sort of the same way. When Malcolm X speaks, I get shivers. Okay. Now I love Martin Luther King. I think, I love his speeches. I think they're meaningful and they're poignant and they're important and they're landmark. But the shivers I get when I listen to Malcolm X speak, it's totally different. Same thing. Angela Davis, man, when she speaks, it just goes up my back. It's just crazy, and I don't get that with a whole lot of people. I love the way they speak.
No, I get what you're saying actually, and as far as like the way they speak, I would agree with you actually on Angela Davis over Kathleen Cleaver, but for me that list would also include Malcolm X, but
I just said that.
I know, but also
is there an echo in here?
Shut the fuck up. Malcolm X, Fred Hampton, Angela Davis. I'll give you that one.
Fred Hampton. Yep.
And Chairman Zulu, honestly.
Dude, the other night when you were doing the podcast that cannot be mentioned without us being shut down again. That was nuts. I was like, and I think I messaged you in the middle of it. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, and then you were like in the comments on the stream, like, we need to protect this man.
Dude, I felt like I thought that was scary to say that because like, but like we do, like, that is the kind of epic I guess rhetoric. It just really was speaking a lot of sense, and it was hitting me in the way that maybe not on the same level as when I first heard Malcolm X speak, but very much in a similar vein, so.
Yeah. And I mean, one of the things that I love about him too is like when he's going to give a speech, he doesn't write out a goddamn thing. It's from the heart.
Right. Natalie, when he the only time that MLK really gave me shivers was when he was doing the "We Shall Overcome." It's not more than like a 5-10 minute speech, but when you just can feel it, and it's not written, it's not pre-written, it's not pre-recorded. It's just him on the spot, and it's just this whole energy. This will be a great America, and we will be the participants in making it so. William Cullen Bryant was right. truth shall overcome. You know, I mean, it was just like crazy. You could feel it, and it's just like, oh, it's beautiful, and you just feel motivated to action. You know, that I love that kind of speech, and you could feel it in that one. But when people talk about I have a dream, I don't feel that same sense as I did when I heard Malcolm X speak, or even when MLK did the "We Shall Overcome," which is still phenomenal. It still does for me every
According
time I hear
to
it.
like some older activists from Detroit, I went to the 50th anniversary of MLK's march down Woodward Avenue in Detroit.
Hmm.
Which is also kind of funny because MLK did not have a permit, and we had a permit for 2 lanes on Woodward Avenue, and like the organizers were getting mad that people were trying to take more lanes, and they're like, "Oh well, we're just here to respect the memory of MLK," and I'm like, MLK didn't have no fucking permit, and he took both sides of the road. Like, anyway, according to the old timers that were at the original march, who were not marching just to set the record straight.
Mhm.
They were not marching for the 50th anniversary. They rode in a van, if I recall.
Probably a good idea. Keep those folks
Yeah,
safe.
yeah. But like before the march itself, there was like a get together. There was speakers and stuff, and they were talking about how the "I Have a Dream" speech was originally delivered right before the march on Woodward Avenue. It was the original one was delivered in Detroit. It was like a week later or something that the one that was recorded and televised
Sure.
that everybody's familiar with. And they all claim that the energy was so much higher because less of it was actually written. I mean, basically the rest of the speech was written like on the spot. It was
Yeah.
it was more of an energetic, driven from the heart thing.
Oh yeah, I get that, and I truly believe, as with most um, ministers, uh, I think the catching you in the moment of passion really gets your best work, whereas opposed to more of an academic would have to sit down and ride it out before they got where they were going with
Right.
the speech. Yeah, that's what you call performative. Exactly. They're not they're not there to actually to really do anything. They're just there to pretend like they care.
Well, yeah, just like the people that organized that anniversary march.
That's what we're
I
talking
mean,
about. That Austin. I think that's what Austin
yeah.
was responding to.
Okay. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah. Because I mean, of course, they're. I think if MLK was there, they'd say, "Be obedient."
Yeah, I mean that was the kind of the whole vibe, and there was like a lot of younger activists, including myself at the time. I was 20, I think.
Yeah.
There was a lot of younger activists that were like, "Well, no, I mean, we gotta fight the power, like take to the streets. Like, whose streets? Our streets. We're not just fucking chanting it. We fucking mean it, right?"
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if the streets truly did belong to the people, we wouldn't have that problem.
Right.
Yeah. I have utmost respect for all our civil rights activists. Sadly, the ones we know about in literature all end up dead. Isn't that the truth? And that's tragic.
Yeah.
It's so scary. And the
Yeah.
ones that, or they get framed for stupid shit, or they get
whitewashed. Look at Rosa Parks. She lived to be an old age, but she wasn't the sweet little liberal lady that was just tired from work, like we're taught in history class. She was
Yep.
a communist organizer.
Right. Right. When I told my girlfriend that she actually organized that, she's blown away. She's blown away. She's like, I didn't
My
know that.
teacher told me. I mean, that was my response when I first heard that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it was something similar to that.
Like, no, she's not an innocent old grandmother sitting in the back of the bus, sitting in the front of the bus, being just because she's tired. She planned this. It was orchestrated so that they could move forward. You know,
Right. And that was the entire justification for the boycott, which was a significant factor in the overall fight for integration.
right? It was all organized specifically for that. Yeah, peace doesn't seem to work well, though. Yeah, Jesus. You know, what was it? Was it Al Capone? I think Al Capone said something to the effect of, "You can get more you get more with a kind word and a gun than you can with just a kind word."
I mean, he's not wrong.
So I totally botched that quote. Jesus. Ugh. I'll be watching this
mean,
tomorrow morning
or
and going, oh, what did I do?
or as Chairman Mao said, political power. Actually, no. Let's go with Fred Hampton said that political barrel does not grow out of the goddamn it political barrel.
Yes, excellent.
Political power does not flow from the sleeve of a dashiki. It comes from the barrel of a gun.
Nice. Nice.
I did not talk about my garden. Do you want me to talk about my garden? Is that why you're asking?
She's lying and saying it's interesting.
So I built a pile in my yard.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a bit more involved than that, but that's a humorous way to describe it, right?
Yes.
So step one was basically to make a pile of wood. Hold on, I'm trying to close all my chats and shit for there we go.
You can concentrate on your gardening less.
Well, I mean, so I don't have them on the screen is more what I was getting at.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, so step one was making a pile. On the bottom there is big wood, on the top there is little wood.
Big wood.
Oh my god. Step two, wood chips, wood stove ashes, leaves, kind of like stuffing them in the gaps between the wood. Then step three, you're such a dick. I ran out of daylight before I could finish, but I'm putting compost over top of the mound, and I'm still, pushing it in all the gaps. And then the final layer will be just straight dirt. But that is hugel culture is the term for that growing technique. A lot of people just call it mound gardening because you're literally gardening in a mound. The idea is over time, the wood and the leaves and all the other shit break down and put nutrients in the soil. And what the fuck is so funny, Scott?
It's some people call it mound gardening. Because that's what you're doing. You're gardening in a mound. I could be punch drunk because it's late, but that was the dumbest shit. That sounded like you were on NPR talking
about mound gardening.
Oh, sorry. No, soon I will have a home garden myself. Not something that I've opted for, but I'll be forced into. I will also have chickens for eggs.
I'm also working on getting chickens for eggs. If you ever want to trade labor in your garden for labor in my garden, then
Is that an innuendo?
No, Scott, I'm trying to build community here, okay?
You're are you trying to you're trying to wife swap with me here? What is the story?
No, like, fuck off. I'm done. I can't talk to you anymore.
I'd like to garden.
You can't even breathe.
I'd like to garden in your mound. Oh, that was an absolutely epic explanation that, that I might go back and grab the audio and use it in future episodes.
I
Truly
mean, I hope that it's as good as you make it sound, Scott.
it was terrific. It's mound gardening. Some people call it mound gardening because that's what you're doing. You're gardening in the mound.
Dude, I could be president of the United States with a quote like that.
That's pretty stellar. You know those tingles up my spine I felt? I heard chickens are not too hard. I used to really be interested, but after learning they were cannibals, it was just kind of freaky. Oh, no, I didn't know that. Chickens.
I mean, I've heard
cannibals?
about like chickens being, or like, eating chicken meal that was forced upon them, but I've never heard of a, eating each other like in the coop.
It's possible. I wouldn't put it past them, those slimy bastards.
They're not slimy, they're feathery.
Whatever. Listen, here's the thing. I'm okay with having chickens so long as they don't destroy my yard. And
Define destroy.
wake me up in the morning.
You're fucked.
But I was told we will not be having roosters, so I'll be okay.
Well, roosters will start crowing at fucking dawn and not stop until you shoot them.
If you want him to stop, you have to shoot him. You got to kill him. There's no other option. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend against getting roosters unless you're experienced. Just based on my limited experience, which will be growing this year.
I want you and Natalie to do a gardening show. I would watch the shit out of that. I would so enjoy that.
But Natalie's like way out in, Indiana or Illinois.
What? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
How are we going to work together on a gardening show? We're going to garden in 2 different gardens for our show.
Yes. How's your garden going? Well, I've made my mound. I think it would be absolutely fantastic for you guys to, because she's so sweet, all the time. Like she's like totally like the nicest person in the world. And I just imagine her.
Are you
going
saying
back
that
and
I'm
forth.
not nice, Scott?
No, you're a dick.
In my review at work the other day, my chef was like, well, you kind of have a cynical nature.
No shit. But that's not the first time you've heard that, Rob.
No. Probably not the first time in a review.
Oh.
But then basically he's like, oh, we hired you at a really good pay rate, so we're not going to give you a raise.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. But you are super sweet though. Like I do, but this is the thing. Like I want you to talk about just you doing your monotone talk about about the mound, and then just Natalie responding with, "Yeah, I was thinking about having chickens until I realized they're cannibals and they eat each other. So I'm not going to do that." not gonna have chickens. But the mound sounds very nice. Let's have the mound.
You're killing me. How are we still alive?
I don't know. We were gonna go to bed 20 minutes ago.
Or more. I think it might have been more. Oh yeah, no, it was
1 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So it's 23 minutes ago. Yes.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
What the fuck is this?
This is America, man. You never know.
You don't. You don't. I told you about that, right? When I first came here, I thought everybody had a gun.
Doesn't everybody have a gun?
I thought when I first came here, I was like, so I was at a friend's house, and I said, "Hey, where do you guys keep your gun?" And and my friend was like, "What?" I said, "Oh, you got a gun, right?" "No, I don't have a gun." Well, but this is America, right? Everybody has a gun, right? Like, that's the thing. You can, so you should, and everybody talks like everybody in the movies has a gun. Why don't you have a gun? Yeah. All right. Anyway, so that's it.
You know the meme, right, with the breakfast gun?
Yes,
Yeah.
this is an American breakfast. The problem is that it's one gun shy of a real American breakfast.
But I mean, my biggest critique is
Yeah.
that the breakfast gun goes on the left.
I think that would be fantastic if we had like etiquette classes. Please remember that
We should do that.
the soup spoon goes on the outside, and the breakfast gun always goes on the left. Excellent.
Oh man. Coming next week.
Etiquette class. Oh, American etiquette. That's what we're gonna do.
You have to make another cool video though.
Oh, I'll do one for that bit. For sure.
I love it.
Oh.
Wait, that means you need to read another crazy shit.
Oh, hang on, let's find a new one. For the end of the show here. All right, let's do this. What was the other one that we were gonna do? I liked gossip. Gossip was one of the. Ooh, hang on. This is for people you think are unintelligent. He won't hurt his back toting his brains. He won't hurt his back toting his brains. Excellent.
That is, yeah.
Exaggeration prone. He's full of more nuts and berries than a fat bear.
I might have to start using some of these.
These are good. Yeah. Stupid. His cheese slid off his cracker. Brilliant. If his brain were a rifle, he'd shoot the stinger off a bee. Wow.
Wow.
That
Higher praise has never been spoken.
Untrustworthy. You could shake his hand, but you can't count. But count your fingers when you've done. Okay, I fucked that up. You can shake his hand, but count your fingers when you're done. Apparently, they're going to steal your fingers.
So I called somebody at work a pine cone the other day.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
What? Where did the whole pine cone thing start? Who brought that in?
Talia.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know she says it a lot, but
yeah, on the first Late Show, she explained why she uses a pine cone.
I don't
Something-
remember that.
Because it's not like, insulting or, well, I mean, it is insulting, but it's not like, what's the word I'm looking for here?
It's not derogatory to any specific group.
There you go. Yeah.
That's some pretty stellar logic.
Yeah. But I called one of my fellow line cooks a pine cone the other day, and everybody thought it was hilarious. So good.
Yeah. That's good. I might start using it now.
Yeah. Very, very warm reception.
Very warm reception. Everybody loves the pine cone bullshit.
Anyway, we're
Just gonna have
just
to
like
trademark that.
talking. So I'm just gonna like do the thing.
That's what we do here. It's the fucking Late Show.
Yeah. Yeah. James knows what time it is.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents. Just don't worry about it. Learn how to use what